Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of
Wicked.
Mysterious. I'm your host, Danny.
And I'm Katie. And this is episode number 19.
Yay.
We are almost at 20.
Yes. I feel like 10 was just like 2 seconds ago.
Mm-hmm. You teased me with that intro. I thought we were going to say Wicked Mysterious together for a second. Nope. You just stared at me. And I was like, wait, is this happening?
I just switched it up without telling you. No big deal.
I went with it. It worked out. I can't believe that. 20.
I know. Oh, I've been meaning to say this in the past few episodes, but for those that don't follow us on Facebook, we do have an Etsy store now.
Yeah.
It's Wicked Mysterious Co. C-O, like company. And we've got stickers, we've got mugs, we've got shirts. So yeah, It's exciting. And I also just ordered a bunch of stickers for our Patreon members if you want to sign up. It's in our link
tree. Do we have any Patreon members?
No, because we don't offer anything.
Right.
We're like, oh, you can pay us for, or you can get it for free.
We have to do
choice.
What, behind the scenes things for them or something?
Yeah, I don't really know. I was thinking
I would definitely perform for you guys. I would do something for
tap
you.
Dance.
Yeah, I would do something for sure.
Yeah, with the Patreon, I think there's different levels and you can offer different things. So if you sign up on Patreon, maybe you could pick a shirt and we'll send it to you and some stickers for sure.
Cool idea. I got a great idea too. Maybe the Patreon members, I can do episodes as a ventriloquist.
That would be amazing.
I don't know if you all know out there, but I'm a ventriloquist also. It's just a natural born talent that I realized when I was like 30. So
it's wonderful. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah, we did it on here.
We have
air,
already,
but you
it's
can't see it.
Correct.
So.
That's what makes it so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would pay to see your beautiful face.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. It's so pretty.
No.
What do you have for us today?
Well, I have an interesting story for you today that I'm like, I don't know, I'm on the fence about how mysterious it is.
Okay.
Like on a level of like 1 being not mysterious at all to 10 being the most, I would say it's like a 7, and I want it to be like a 10.
Yeah.
So, but it's still interesting.
I've found that some of the most intriguing things when you actually get down to research it, you're like, oh man,
Right.
this isn't mysterious.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I guess that's what we're here for.
Yeah, we got a lot of content to still come up
for
with.
Sure.
So
they're not all going to be the most mysterious.
yeah, guys, listener. Yeah.
They're not all Laura Murray.
So imagine being a man that wants to renovate your home and goes in the basement and starts to blow through a basement concrete wall and finding a cave on the other side of it.
Ooh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get into it. In 1963, a man who lived in Turkey in the Nevşehir province decided to do some home renovating on his basement. With just a sledgehammer, he started to break through a wall. He felt cold air coming through, and when he looked in, he noticed it seemed to be a small cave. This area of Turkey is known to have a complex cave system, so he believed maybe he had broken into one. He thought it seemed like a natural cave formation at first, and he continued to blow through the wall to make a hole big enough to get his body through to go explore the area. Ooh. That's brave, right?
I would do it.
I don't think I'd be putting my body in there just because I'd think spiders and other things living in there that, no, I don't want to meet you,
I'm so used to spiders at this point. Bring them on.
Let you deal with them. He took along a flashlight, and once inside, he illuminated inscriptions of other languages on the walls that appeared to be Roman, Greek, and languages that were not recognizable to him. The ceiling of this area was of stone and rough, like he would expect in a cave, but what seemed very unnatural was that the walls were completely smooth. He felt an eerie human presence with him, and he was surprised to notice to the side that there was a narrow stone hallway, and he decided to travel down it for some ways until he found another small room off of it. He began to find a system of passageways, and every turn he took, he found more and more rooms. Some so large that it could fit dozens of people, and some of them were small. Hours of inspections in this massive underground structure, he thought he had found the end until he found a sharp turn and some natural carved stairs heading down deeper underground.
Wow.
Right? At this point, like, this is way more than just a little cave hideout, right? Mm-hmm. He realized that this was much more than a natural cave now and thought it could be a hideout built by people, but it just seemed way too large, and he knew he needed to get to the authorities, so he turned back to his basement to make the phone call. He called the authorities and told them about what he had just discovered. The Turkish police suggested he was describing the myth of Derinkuyu, a hidden city, a story he had heard since he was a young boy. The myth was that this ancient city built thousands of years ago, which provided refuge to every citizen in the area, was just hidden beneath the surface. So clearly he discovered something crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. Was this his house?
This was his house.
Okay.
Derinkuyu is in the Cappadocia region of central Turkey, in which the geography is very distinct. Millions of years ago, volcanoes monopolized the area, and when volcanoes would erupt, ashes would solidify into tuff, which is a soft, pliable, and porous rock found all over the region. Tuff is an ancient construction material. Romans used it all over the empire, and the statues on Easter Island are made out of tuff. So it wasn't surprising that Turkey had been using this material since ancient history. But what was different, instead of mining the stone and building up, the people of Derinkuyu built down. In Cappadocia, there are hundreds of subterranean houses, some even 2 stories down. That's cool, right? I never knew that about Turkey.
Yeah.
The underground city of Derinkuyu goes down over 250 feet. In the first few years of archaeologists excavating and exploring, 18 stories had been discovered, and since then, 2 more levels have been found. So 20 that they've found so far.
Wow.
20 stories down.
How do they even breathe?
We're going to get to that. Okay. So cool. They're still excavating, so it could actually go down even further. So far, 5 square miles total have been discovered, and it's believed to be capable to house 20,000 people at one time.
Wow.
The top levels were used as apartments closest to air, but Derenkuyu has a system of over 16,000 ventilation shafts that allow air to every room in the underground city, even a fresh water supply. At the lowest levels, there are a series of underwater rivers. A well was central to bring water to the entire city, and actually people who lived above Derenkuyu on the Earth's surface, they used the well originally intended for the underground secret city without even knowing. That's cool. The name Derenkuyu is Turkish for deep well.
Oh, wow.
I never knew about this before. This is totally new to me.
So was this the first discovery when he broke through the wall?
Yep. In 1963, this was the first discovery.
That house must have been very old because I'm sure that they knew when they made the basement that there was something behind the wall.
Right. I was thinking, like, who just plows into their foundation in their basement, you know?
Yeah.
But again, in Turkey, it's common to build down, and he probably thought he had some extra room or something, you know? The tunnels of Derenkuyu ranged over 4 miles. As you explore, areas that meet every need of a self-contained city would be found.
Wow.
Schools, wineries, dining halls, markets, bakeries, libraries, churches. even an olive oil press area, and storage areas for large varieties and amounts of food, including butcher stations. A few more levels down, there are areas to contain livestock and stables for horses. Thousands of people could survive for a very long time underground, but who would build this and why? Why go through the trouble of building such a massive subterranean city? The land is very fertile in Cappadocia, and it's ideal for farming. Most archaeologists agree Derinkuyu was built for protection. It is more like an underground fortress with about 60 above-ground, camouflaged entrances to Derinkuyu hidden in courtyards, parks, and buildings all over town. And when the doors were closed, they would blend right into the landscape.
Wow. Protection from what?
We're going to get to it.
Okay.
There was only one main entrance into the city. So into Cappadocia, there was only one main entrance. So if under attack, residents could use any of the hidden entrances to get safely underground. The doorways were protected by 1,000-pound or heavier circular stones that would retract and could only be opened from the inside. I thought of your stone door.
Oh yeah,
from Coral Castle. Yeah, they could only be opened from the inside. The main gate was even heavier. The access tunnels at the surface were so narrow, it forced invaders to be single file only and intentionally into choke points, in quotes, to make the city easily defendable. Wow. So much thought was put into this. Most levels had armories to allow soldiers and citizens to access weapons, and the local militia had dedicated stables to maintain horses to ride out a secret exit and surprise invaders. Derenkuyu's multi-levels were designed very cleverly with defense in mind. All the city levels were interconnected. However, they could all be sealed off from one another, preventing enemies from invading more of the city, and also could keep them contained on a level. So if invaders were in on level 2, they could use their wicked cool intercom system that was also created, and they could be like, block off level 2, and then level 2 sealed, and that's it. They're sealed in there.
That's amazing.
Right? Even the water, it was only controlled from the bottom up. So if invaders breached the higher levels, the water would be cut off, and this would prevent the city's water supply from being poisoned. There were dozens of hidden passageways leading out of Derenkuyu, and even a passageway that leads to another underground city about 4 miles away. This city's called Kimakli, which is still being excavated, but believed to be even bigger than Derenkuyu. Another massive underground city discovered nearby is called Ozkanov. It's thought today by archaeologists that there could actually be up to 200 of these underground cities all interconnected, completely hidden underground, an entire underground network. Crazy.
Did they find artifacts and stuff,
Yes.
books and stuff?
Yes.
So how old is this?
We're getting to it.
Okay.
I love all the questions that are leading to it.
That's good.
Yeah, in 1969, this was actually opened to visitors, with about half of the underground city currently still accessible today. Pretty cool, right? So the mystery lies in who built Derenkuyu and these underground cities. They can't carbon date the stone, but some believe construction came from the Hittites 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. Some Hittites artifacts have been recovered. Anatolian Hittites controlled a large part of Asia Minor all the way up to Mesopotamia, and Cappadocia and Derinkuyu were right in the middle of the Hittite territory. This area of Turkey was a main corridor for trade. In ancient times, whoever controlled the trade routes could impose their will on the entire area. Hittite cities were always under attack from all sides. Assyrians, Thracians, Egyptians, and especially the Phrygians, related to the Greeks. Phrygians inhabited central western Anatolia in ancient times. King Midas was a Phrygian king who by legend could turn anything into gold. Some believe the Phrygians, as very talented engineers and architects, considered some of the greatest builders of the Iron Age, constructed or at least added on to and improved the city of Derenkuyu. Several rooms found in Derinkuyu were identified as ancient chapels and have inscriptions written in Greek, which would not be likely from the Hittites, but would be very highly likely from the Phrygians, and they controlled the area until about the 6th century BC, until conquered by the Persians. Anabasis, written by Xenophon of Athens in 370 BC, documented a Greek army expedition to Persia. The written records mentioned people of Anatolia and Cappadocia who lived underground in large dwellings. Early Christians obviously didn't build Derinkuyu, but there is evidence that they did occupy it in the 1st century AD. Inside the city, there are several Christian churches and Christian writings and symbols all over the upper floors, and Christian architecture, such as vaulted ceilings and other Christian structures. Derinkuyu could be used by Christians to practice their faith in secret from the Roman Empire and hide from Roman soldiers. During the years 780 to 1180, Muslim Arabs used Derinkuyu and also expanded the structure and inscribed the walls. Whoever built it, its history is clear through the years. It provided shelter from armies for thousands of people and families and acted as a safe sanctuary to those of faith to escape religious persecution. This incredible secret city of unknown exact origin is an amazing and mysterious discovery. Could aliens have built it before the Hittites and the Phrygians? Derenkuyu extended is estimated to have had 5 million square feet of rock to be removed to carve out this subterranean city, and that's the equivalent in volume of 370 Olympic-sized swimming pools. And yet, there is no evidence whatsoever of the carved out materials anywhere around the city.
I was going to say,
where'd it go, right?
Mala wants to know.
She's like, what? So yeah, you were going to say, where did it go?
Yeah, I was going to ask where'd they put it
Yeah,
on.
no evidence at all of it. So that exact material is just not found anywhere at all in the city. So was it like used to build things?
Was it dumped in the ocean? How far from the ocean is it?
If you're carving out, you shouldn't really have to build walls, right? Like you shouldn't really have to build anything if you're carving out.
Yeah.
I don't know how far the ocean is. Interesting thought, though. In June 2017, author and researcher Aaron Collins investigated and reported on his findings of the unbelievable sizes of the hundreds of rooms. He talks about the huge self-sealing doors made out of volcanic rock, wheeled into position and locked, and how it doesn't seem humanly possible to navigate these huge structures into place. Collins describes, in addition to the Hittite artifacts found, hand tools that can be dated back 10 to 12,000 years, and arguably even earlier, were also found. Some believe the Hittites took advantage of an already built underground city. A local archaeologist, Omar Demir, found whole extensive areas of rock chips that had clearly come from these underground cities, dating its age almost more like 11 to 12,000 years into the Stone Age. So, was Derenkuyu and other neighboring secret underground cities constructed by humans, or something outer worldly for mankind? Are there more of these subterranean secret fortresses hidden underground all around our planet?
Probably.
That was supposed to be a question I ask later. But to, an interesting point, some people believe aliens really don't come from outside of the universe. Like, some people really think they're inside our Earth, like underground.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's been sightings of aliens, ships just plowing into the water and never coming back up. So It's like, are they going down to their little home hole?
Yeah.
It's crazy. We don't know what's in the center.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. That's my story.
Very interesting.
Right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I loved this. I've never heard of it.
Me either. But, I mean, think about it. Like, I know we don't know for sure that men constructed the pyramids, right? But we know that it's like how it's almost impossible how exact they are, and how they line up with other things. Like I just still can't ever grasp the idea that even with their pulley systems and their,
Yeah, for me, like the pyramids have never been about how heavy they are and the manpower it takes, but the precision. Because we still can't do that today. Mm-hmm. Even with today's technology, we still can't do that.
Right. Like it's not even an inch off any of the walls of any of the pyramids. They're just perfect.
One of the measurements, 1 Mile Higher covered it. They did a really good job. I don't know if you heard that episode. It was one of their earliest ones.
Yep, I have.
But they did a really good job covering it, and it was something like pi to the 10th degree or something crazy like that. Like so precise.
That's so crazy to think about. So cool.
Crazy. Wicked mysterious. Yeah. It's just crazy to think about how big that is.
So massive. And like the fact that it was created in mind to be a defense. Like, so if the Hittites just, came about and found it, of course they can use it for defense, but maybe it was already there from who knows how long ago also for a defense, for a secret alien civilization. That makes me excited about it. I don't know. That's what I want to think. But
I picture it as defense from aliens.
Yeah, back
it's kind of smart if you think about it, because if you have that many people, you can use the whole top layer for farmland, and the rest is because it's easier to build that way. And
they said it was a great farmland.
I just keep imagining being on like the 20th level. How like
it's crazy.
And there's never been a cave-in or anything like that.
No. So like the walls are real hard on the outside, but on the inside they're soft and pliable. Like I said, this tuff formed from the volcano ashes is odd. Like it definitely is great to like build.
And the walls must be painted and stuff. What did they do about light?
They're not. So they have so a lot of the ventilation systems or the well-like holes will provide light to come down, but they had used candles and they used flaxseed oil.
Wow.
Lanterns. Yep, all throughout. So can you imagine, like there was some holes that were so small, they were actually created for children only. They were like just protection, escape routes for kids, for the little ones, because nobody else could get in there. And so they knew that their kids would be safe, which is so cool. Yeah. They would have like the holes that would go up for ventilation for when they would cook down there, because they would cook at night, obviously, only at night. Smoke can't be detected during nighttime. And so they would have these like, it would be like big community, like a kitchen basically, where anybody could come and cook. And it's like a chimney basically, it goes up and is a ventilation for all the smoke, and you can see the walls. You can still see the burnt
the
on the walls. So cool. And then there's like lots of ventilation system holes that collected rainwater, but they were also kept that in mind. They knew that water would collect, and they actually had like, they're called like drainage systems. And there was one area where there was no drainage system, and it was on purpose so that they could have, probably during the Christian time, I would imagine, like a pool of water that they would bless, and they would do their baptisms in there for the little babies, little baby Jesuses.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that. Give your kids the chance to decide what religion they want to be. I'm sorry I couldn't keep my mouth shut. Please don't do that. Thanks.
Right,
Thank you, closed.
Well,
I understand wanting to protect them and stuff. That I understand. I get it. It's
cool. I mean, that whole religion was like a protection in itself back then too. So
now
it was like secret. Yeah, right. Secret stuff back then. But yeah, so cool. I'm
going to keep my mouth shut, and then immediately it just came out. Sorry.
It's okay. So like the hallways were so small. Like some of the rooms were about 5 feet tall, right? So that's like, us. But then some were much higher. Yeah, it all depended, I guess, on the need of the room, you know. But yeah, they were just so many different ones, and like the hallways so small that you would have to bend down to walk through them. I personally couldn't do that. Like I was watching a documentary where I think aliens right off the rip.
Yes, agree.
Yes, exactly. Like why so short? But again, maybe, I don't know, maybe just a little less work. I don't know. Like why?
But after all that, how long?
Well, if it's Stone Age, if it dates to Stone Age, maybe those humans were a lot smaller. No?
No, I'm not disagreeing. Like, they were smaller, but...
Yeah.
That much smaller?
I know. I don't know. I mean, so it probably is like 5 feet tall. So we'd only have to bend a little bit to get through the hallways. But they were so narrow because of the whole like single file for enemies coming in, which is brilliant. I would be wicked claustrophobic. Like I'm not claustrophobic, but going underground like that and being tight, tourists say it is a very exhilarating experience for sure.
I don't know if I could do it.
I guess you can actually go down to the bottom floor. And I believe in the documentary, I heard that there was actually like an elevator system.
What?
Yeah, I don't think that's original. I think they added that in with the tourists.
Okay.
It has to.
Yeah,
they had to have. But some tourists are like, nope, all set. Like there was one woman, she had gotten down to like the 4th floor and she was like telling her husband like, all right, I'm getting a little scared now. You know, I'd be the same way. But yeah, if you Google search a picture of Derinkuyu, it's fascinating to see all the levels laid out like that. And again, I know there's a lot of underground history of things. Like there is supposed to be like an underground alien base, right? Somewhere where is that one? Is that Dulce? Is that how they say it? The Dulce base?
I haven't heard of that.
That's something to look into.
Yeah.
I might be saying it wrong, but yeah. So this is, obviously we know it's not the only one. I'm wondering how many underground structures could be around the world that we're not aware of. You know, I know this was built from tuff. So
yeah,
that's super easy to build with.
Yeah.
And carve out. But where did it all go? That's a lot of Olympic-sized swimming pools of material.
Yeah.
And to have no traces anywhere, that's what's weird. So.
That was the Hollow Moon episode where we talked about that they carved out the moon. Like, where did all of that go?
We talked about it carving out the moon?
Yeah, in the Hollow Moon episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Where did it all go? Did they just vaporize it?
Yeah. Well, that's us assuming that they carved out the moon, right? But what if the moon was just already made to be hollow? Created to be hollow, you know?
Yes.
Little fake ass. Yeah, fake ass.
Fake ass satellite.
The little hidden door on the other side. Yeah. So that was that. That was my story.
I loved it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is mysterious, and it's right up our alley.
It's mysterious. It's just not like a level 10 mysterious, because it's like men probably made this, but we don't know. We don't know for sure because some of the artifacts can date back.
I wonder if there were any interesting paintings in there.
There was no
pictographs.
Yeah, no pictographs that I had come across at all in my researching. Just writing. Yeah.
Do they know what the writing says?
I'm sure there's definitely some translations somewhere. I didn't look into it. Just knowing that the language was Greek on the walls, it just gives you a good idea about the time frame.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want to see some alien inscriptions.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some alien inscriptions like at the bottom of the well or the lake, because there's lakes, it said, in the bottom. Was it lakes?
I bet there is, because it's at the water table.
Right. All right.
Well, thank you for that. I loved this episode.
Thanks.
And I can't wait to do another one
Episode
soon.
20.
Big episode.
It's going to be yours.
Don't you feel like 10 was just not that long ago?
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because we recorded like a shit ton at once. That's probably why it feels like that.
We jumped it a little bit. We jumped like the gun. We got ahead.
Yes, we did.
So we feel really ahead right now.
We are.
We are.
Well, kind of, because I haven't edited, but we're ahead in recording.
We're still ahead. Yeah, that's great. But yeah, you got number 20, so you better make it good.
I'll try.
I'm excited to know what it'll be.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, don't forget to check out our Patreon and our Etsy. Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye. Stay mysterious.